You know, we're surrounded by all these invisible rules that keep us safe, but we just don't even notice them, right? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most important ones. And it all starts with something you probably see, I don't know, a dozen times a day, but never really look at.
I mean, seriously, have you ever just stopped and actually looked at one? They're everywhere, right? In our homes, at work. We just jam our plugs in without a second thought. But here's the thing. It's not a random design. Nope. There's a reason for every single slot, every shape, and yeah, even every color.
That's right. Every single outlet and all that wiring tucked away behind it, it's all speaking a secret language, a code, and it's designed for one reason and one reason only, to keep you safe. So today, yeah, we're going to crack that code.
Okay, so to really get this code, we first have to understand the problem it's trying to solve. And that problem, well, it's just the nature of electricity itself. I mean, it's amazingly powerful, super useful, but let's be real, it can also be incredibly dangerous. Think about it like water, okay? It has to flow from a source, go through whatever you've plugged in, and then it needs to get back to the source to complete the circuit. Now, if that return path gets messed up, or if it decides to go somewhere it's not supposed to, like, say, through you, that's when you get a really nasty shock. So the whole game is making sure that electricity always stays on the right road. And that brings us to the hero of our story, this thing called the grounded conductor. I know, it sounds super technical, but the idea is actually really simple. This is the one wire that's specifically designed to be that safe, normal return path. It's like the designated superhighway for electricity to get home safely. And the whole point, is making sure any electrician can spot this wire instantly and hook it up to the right spot, every single time. So how do you pull that off? Not just in one house, but in millions and millions of buildings all over the place? Well, you create a super simple universal rule, a color code that's so clear it's almost impossible to mess up. And here it is, the core of the whole system, straight out of the National Electrical Code. And it is so simple. The terminal, the little screw where you connect the wire, for that super important grounded conductor, it has to be either white or silver. Period. All the other terminals, they just have to be a different color, which is why you usually see brass or black. So when an electrician sees white or silver, it's like a big sign that says, hey, safe return path goes here. It's just that simple. Now, I know what you might be thinking. It's just a color, right? What's the big deal? Well, in the world of electrical work, these tiny little details, they're the difference between a safe home and a major hazard. This isn't just some friendly suggestion. It's a core safety rule. And think about all the good things that come from this one simple rule. First off, it makes the right connection totally obvious, which helps prevent massive wiring mistakes. That, in turn, makes sure electricity flows exactly where it's supposed to. It basically creates a universal safety language that every single electrician just gets instantly. And what does all that mean for you? Well, it protects you, your family, your stuff, from the very real dangers of electric shock and fire. It's amazing, really, how a tiny splash of color can do so much.
Now, with a rule this important, you'd think it would be absolute, right? Like zero exceptions ever. But in the professional world, there is a tiny but really important exception. It's kind of like an insider secret, and it only, and I mean only, applies under super strict conditions. So, the big question is, can that safe return path terminal ever be a color that isn't white or silver? And the answer is yes. But, and this is a huge but, it's only allowed if you follow a very specific professional-grade set of rules. Seriously, this is not something for your weekend DIY project. Don't even think about it. Yeah, the code is crystal clear here. For this exception to even be on the table, 3 things must happen. First, the installation has to have controlled supervision. Think a big industrial plant, not your garage. Second, only qualified persons can work on the equipment, and that's code for trained, certified professionals. And third, and this is the really important part, even if the terminal itself isn't white from the factory, the pro has to permanently mark it as white during the installation, maybe with some white tape or paint. So you see, the visual cue is still there. It's just added on-site by an expert. Okay, let's zoom back out. We've gone deep, from a simple outlet on the wall all the way into the fine print of the electrical code. So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's really about how a simple, kind of elegant system creates this huge invisible shield of safety that's protecting all of us all the time. When you really boil it all down, this entire incredible safety system rests on the power of just two options, 2 categories. Is the terminal white or silver?
Yes or no. From that simple choice, this whole language of safety is built, making absolutely sure that powerful electricity goes exactly where it's supposed to go and nowhere else. So really, the next time you go to plug something in, your phone, a lamp, whatever, take a second and just think about that simple silver or white screw hidden away inside the wall. It's such a tiny detail, right? But that little splash of color represents a whole world of smart engineering and a massive commitment to keeping all of us safe.
It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? The next time you walk through a door or cross the street, just take a moment. What other hidden codes, what other invisible rules are out there quietly working in the background, just to make your world a little bit safer? Something to think about.